Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness to the family. Hope everybody feeling good for no reason at all. As for me, I'm feeling good for no reason at all. I am here, your host and co-pilot, Sawu the God, operating in the magnetic service of love and light. I greet you all in stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. 3 times. Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. I ain't gonna cap, these mosquitoes tearing me up, but it's peaceful out here. Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. I greet y'all to a highly protected magnetic space. I'm gonna start out by saying it's the God in me that knows. I only came here to do this one time. I don't know how many lifetimes I've been here, but I only came here to do this one time. Forever and eternal. Some of you may get it, depending on where you at in your journey. Some, when you get there, you'll know. Pardon me for the brief interruption, but family, if you lit, if you leveling up, and I'm not talking about externally, I'm talking about internal growth in your character, in your mannerisms, in your thoughts, in your communication, in your interaction with others. If you lit, if you leveling up, it's obvious. Everybody see it. And the reason I say that is because universally, we in an energetic clearing. We all being purged. And it's easy to, that's obvious too. We can tell by the things that we're being faced with in our life. So if you feel that, if you can feel it, you know. And with that in mind, I want to say sometimes growth is lonely. Growth can be a lonely process, no matter how many people around you, especially spiritually speaking, because you can be the only one experiencing what you're experiencing. And if what's around you is too caught up in the third dimension or what's going on externally, they have no idea that you may be experiencing some of the things that you're experiencing. So with that aspect, and that can be applied in any area of our lives. And in that aspect, growth can be a lonely process. What makes that a concern to me is because I assume that we love the people we care about. But unfortunately, in this spiritual journey, and those who are on the spiritual path, you're probably realizing that when you're growing and you're surpassing the people that you know on an energetic level, because everything ain't about money and material possessions, but when you're growing and you're evolving and you're expanding as a spirit operating with a soul on this physical plane, and you're passing people energetically, sometimes it feels like it's just you. And if you've been there a time or two, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. As I was saying for Chip, disrupted us. When you're growing and you start surpassing people on an energetic, quote unquote, energetic level, sometimes it feels like it's just you, like you're the only one. It's going to be family, friends, associates that don't quite get it and get caught or get stuck in the 3D matrix of things, and that's okay. It is okay, but it don't mean it's all right to stay there. To walk in the light. To walk in the light, we'll come to find it places us right beside darkness. To walk in the light, it will place you right beside darkness, because you don't know what walking in the light is until you know how to walk beside darkness. I was asked, where do my wisdom, the things that I say, come from? And I replied, they come from just becoming empty. For those that didn't catch it, I'm gonna say it again. I was asked, where do the wisdom and my insights, my perceptions come from? And I responded, they come from by becoming empty. When you become empty, ain't no telling what might come to your mind. See, we get so caught up in trying to force our thoughts in the direction that we want to go, but when you could just, when you fall back and then just let the mind do what it do, and then you learn to watch it like a viewfinder, ain't no telling, what you might be shown that we normally block ourselves from seeing by always forcing the fight. Sometimes, well, ain't no sometimes, we're in a place where you gotta, right now today, you gotta drop everything you was taught. If you believe that we was taught a lot, why would you still believe it? Whoever believed we was taught a lot, why would you still believe it? Why would you still try to function under those systems? Drop everything you was taught if you believe you was taught a lot in any area of your life. We need to exercise more patience with ourselves. Because if you can exercise patience with yourself, it's easy to exercise patience with a person like me. Because I may push people's patience sometimes, and people push mine sometimes. That's okay. But when we're able to give ourselves the care of applying patience on ourselves, it becomes a medicine for others. Everybody don't operate on our time, and they're not supposed to. Patience is a virtue because standing in line leads to being able to enjoy the ride. And what I mean by that is, say you go to the fair, and the line may be long before you be able to get on the ride. And you may complain the whole time that you're standing in line. But once you get on the ride, you give the ticket man your ticket and you get on the ride, you forget all about the time that you had to stand on the line and the time that you stood in the line complaining. So I'm going to say it again. Patience is a virtue because standing in line leads to being able to enjoy the ride. The moral of the story of that statement is, stay in your lane, play only when it's your turn, but don't die with your dreams inside of you. We still hear the term real, being real, but for anybody who has applied that term to them, or for anybody who have lived long enough to realize the contradiction in that term, you know that being real is not easy. But by the ability to be real, anyone who has the ability to be real is rare. And by it being rare is what make it recognized. Being real is not easy, but my realness is real because I recognize doing the right thing is not the easiest thing to do. You're able to do the right thing when it's not the easiest thing to do. If you're able to say the right thing, knowing that it may cause a problem, it may cause a problem, but heal the problem rather than agreeing with something that you know is wrong and keep a problem alive that will create a bigger problem. It's not hard to do. It's not easy to go against the grain in the right way to prevent error from reoccurring. So being real is not easy to do, but if you're able to be real, it's rare, and it's probably one of the most distinguished things that people recognize about you. Especially when it's the best thing for everybody involved. We all make mistakes. We all have made errors. And today, I realized when we make a mistake, or only till we make a mistake, the lesson has begun. And the reason that's striking to me is because if you're doing right, then you'll never know what doing wrong is. And if you always have did it wrong, you don't never know what doing right is until something comes into your life to show you what side of the pole that you're on. So when you make mistakes, that's when the lesson begins. How else would we know what we're doing without something to show us? How do we know when we're doing anything effectively and efficiently if something don't show us the contrast? Life could either be a distraction, a turn off, or a catalyst, depending on how we use it, depending on how we process it, and depending on how we see ourselves in the schism of this whole shebang. Is a problem a problem? I say that to say this. Is any challenge that we come up against before it becomes a problem? Because anything that becomes a problem was only a challenge first. But if you ain't catch it in the challenge stage, by the time you recognize it for what it was, it's probably now has become a problem. With that in mind, is a problem, or is our way of looking at things just so problematic that things become a problem that is really only an anthill? That's important because in a world where everybody know, because that's all you hear, I know, it contradicts, you can see a clear contradiction with the growth that should come with all the I knows that we hear. So I say that to say this. When you know everything, ain't no room for growth. You're not growing. All you gotta do is ask somebody in your life. All you gotta do is ask somebody in my life. I point that out because if being corrected rubs you wrong, if being corrected rubs you wrong, it's evident that you still got work to do. We still in a place. We in the realm of ascension on this journey. Yet in the human capacity, we still in a place where it rubs us wrong to be corrected. We're not open to suggestions, advice, higher learning when it's coming from that place. We're going to support others who do the same thing that people we know have the gifts and qualities to do. Something wrong. It's immature and it's unattractive. However, those that are expanding, that are evolving, that are growing, we know it's unnecessary to force anything on anyone that's not able to digest it. Don't force nothing on anybody showing you that they can't receive it. Don't argue with people who already have their mindset. Just look at the mindset that's showing itself to you. Don't argue with people who already have their mindset. Just look at the mindset. That's a bar. Stay on your case. Stay on your case. Stay on your journey. Stay on your course. No matter who or what you care for. Everybody don't feel God in you like you feel God in you. These are profound truths for me at this time. Everybody don't feel God in me like I feel God in me. That's okay. I respect your lane, respect my lane, respect people's journey, where they at in their journey. Resonate with what resonate with you. Discard what don't. Ask me how I know. It'll prevent a lot of problems, I just tell you that. Because most times the people that we care for, we love, we usually try to help and assist in any area of their life. But when it's not open to be received, you end up being resented for it. So today I know how to mind my business, stay in my lane, worry about my energy and my frequency and keep that high. And then allow that to show me what it brings me into contact with when I'm coming into contact with anything. And from that space, all is well. And the more we can operate from that space, from that frequency, all will be well. Because you can't control anybody else at any time. And anytime you try to attempt to do it, fear rises and a connection is lost. And the reason that fear rises is because you're threatening people. We have ability to not realize the threat that we're causing on an internal level when we're being forceful in any kind of manner. This period of life is challenging us to change energy by channeling and dialing in the energy we need. I'm going to say that again. We're being challenged to change the energy that we find ourselves dealing with by channeling in and dialing in the energy we need. We all don't need the same thing because we all not here for the same purpose. So it's okay to find what makes you unique and what will feed your uniqueness and the divine expression that you came here to be. That is of very importance because we want to manifest things, whatever it is you're here to manifest. And in order to manifest, you have to be in alignment with what you're trying to manifest. And when you're in alignment, you'll know by your manifestations. When you're in alignment, you start to get what you want. It's usually unclear at first, but when it becomes clear, all you have to do is start focusing on, from that point, what you need. You go from wants to needs and manifestation. That's how the law of attraction works. It's so we can get to understand that we are the bridge to the bridge that we're trying to connect to. With that in mind, I have a question. Are you living right now? Are you living right now according to your choice? Are you doing the things that bring you joy and happiness and peace? Or are you allowing time or the things in your life that keep you into time to work against your life? The reason that is important is because the greatest person that we can fix on this planet is ourselves. First you gotta fix you. If you pointing the finger, we all have pointed fingers, and we got a few pointing back at us. So first we gotta fix us. And when we fix us, ain't no finger to point. If you're not in a space of mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual control, you're not living free. If you're not under mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual control of your own life, you're not living free. I say that to say how you see the world is only how you see the world. That's so important because I'm just sitting here sharing my opinions, but my opinions don't make it fact for you. I'm just sharing my opinions. But if it resonates with you, you may say, damn, that's facts. But how I see the world is only how I see the world. It don't mean that you have to see the world the same way. And we have to respect and honor this towards every being. It's okay for people not to see things how we see things and still get along. How you see the world is only how you see the world. That don't mean that's exactly how the world is. Reign supreme over your consciousness. Become Lord over your own life and master of your own destiny. Going in stops the point. Feel good for no reason at all. Stay true and elevated in the high frequency of your authentic self. Be God divine. Peace. Salute to God.